Do you like my yellow cup? I really like it. It was a big deal for me to own a mug. Hi, it's still a mess in here. Drawing machine's getting not bad. Drawing machine's okay. I feel like the drawing machine is like, we are approaching something. Let's just draw a drawing from the drawing machine so you can see it. How did I do that? That's the wrong thing. What about here? Hi. Okay, man, my office is still a disaster from too many projects. I gotta switch back here for a minute. The fun thing, it's almost guaranteed that, like, in the process of setting up this shot, I'm gonna crash the drawing machine into something. But do we get it? Okay, sort of. Okay, some little test drawings there. So let's just get a few. Hi, it's me, Scott, by the way. Hello. How are you? This is not what we're working on today. I finally did, like yesterday I've done like 2 official pieces of art. One was just a test and it was good enough that I gave it to a friend, and then yesterday I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something on purpose that someone's gonna like keep and frame. So we're getting there. The latest revision is pretty good. I've been like redrawing and rebuilding this thing over and over and over and over. But I think it's pretty good at this point. There's definitely some stuff. I want to redesign the pen holder. I want to redesign the little legs. I want to make a better place to mount the circuit board, and so on and so on and so on. But like, largely, it does the stuff that a drawing machine should do, which is draw. It can draw. And I want to get probably like some kind of magnetic whiteboard kind of thing, and then mount something. Let's go over here. Does not have a home name yet. I was just updating the Gerbil version to 1.1. Try to get some new features. Let's see. We're gonna really get to see much. I'll try. Any tools over here? Sorry, it's a disaster. Okay. You probably can barely hear me, I'm sorry. Okay, so we may just have to call that good. I think there's maybe a weird issue with the latest stuff I was doing with the pin not dropping at full speed. It's kind of weird, but whatever. So let's run CNCJS, which is pretty good. Let's see how we do. I like CNCJS. It's not perfect. Okay, maximum spindle speed, minimum spindle speed. I think that's all fine. That's our home. We're homed. Let's upload some G code. I can bring you here and show you what I'm doing. Okay, I got G code. Looks reasonable. Looks reasonable. Switch over here. Can you hear me? Why is the mic so quiet? Or why is my like mic meter so low? Did I do something with the scaling, or why? Hello, hello, hello. This doesn't quite seem loud enough. Is it because Windows is messing with settings for no reason at all? Probably. How do you open? It's not at all what I want you to do. Oh boy. Windows, you're so bad. Is that the mic volume? No. This is, and it's been bumped down to 82. Didn't we bump this up to 90 before? That better? Hello, hello. Hello, friends. And neighbors. And neighbors. Hi, it's me. And neighbors. Hi, it's me. I don't know. We'll just go with it. No one cares. Somebody care? Someone will come along and tell me. Axio will come tell me it's too quiet. Let's just do this. I think it's not going to crash into anything. Let's go. Okay, we're having major trouble focusing. I'm going to turn off the autofocus. How's that? Pretty good. It's pretty snappy. My spring force might be a little high, smashing my pen into the... One of those doesn't look like it. I think the pen pressure is not right on one of the little legs there. I wonder where that is. Maybe we need to lubricate the... Yeah, look at that. That doesn't look quite right. Oh, that's disappointing. Did I screw up while updating this operator? Like, see how the corner's not connecting over there? Or is the paper just kind of folded? Okay, I need a little touch of lube there. You can see that little spot on one leg. Anyway, it's getting there. It's much better than it was. Let's just try to not break it. And let's home it. And then let's offset it by like 5 millimeters in both directions. Then let's zero it there. And let's draw with the other color. You'll love this. I'm gonna do with the lid. Try that. Ready, go. Oh yeah, but 5 millimeters in both directions is just perfectly diagonal, which is probably going to be a little boring. See how we hit this corner. Kind of like having the camera on it. Actually, CNCJS does have camera support. Okay, that looks fine. Maybe I just didn't have the pen seated quite low enough. Yeah, the 5 millimeter diagonal is not good for the 45-degree angle stuff, but oh well. Cute. That one seemed to do a little better. You hear it smashing into the paper. The spring tension's tricky. $3D. Okay, good job, everybody. Cute. What do you think? I'm pretty pleased with it. It needs more work, but it's getting there. Okay. What are we actually going to talk about today? Right. So, some years ago, I did a project called Volotic, and it was received pretty well. And it was kind of the last time that I did a project that was really, I don't want to say huge, but got a fair amount of attention. Terrier Darch, how's it going? Is that what we need? Do I need like a... Sorry, did I just yell at you? Now I can't tell if the mic is too loud. Do I need to just like stream long drawings of the drawing robot. Let me play some therapeutic music for you, maybe. So Volotic. What is Volotic? Volotic is a project I did some years ago. The idea was to make... The original inspiration was kind of like a tower defense game music sequencer. So 2014, so man, it's like... Is it really 9 years ago? How did this happen? How did I get so old? Anyway, the idea is that you would create music by arranging these little discs on a grid, and each of them has sort of a different operation, and you'd send beats through them and you'd make your music. So the idea is like a non-linear sequencer. And we've worked on it. I mean, I honestly have barely touched it for 6 years, which is crazy. Maybe 5 years ago or so, I did do a VR version, or like a very beta VR version. I got a tiny bit of sales from. But here's the thing. I don't want to work for clients anymore. I'm done with it. Terrier darts, you know what I'm talking about. So I need to like check out the old project pile and find some monetization strategies. So the first thing I need to do is make like relaxing ASMR subscription video service where Terrier Darts can watch the drawing machine. But I was also thinking like, man, I needed to update this, even just in the spirit of like maintaining my old work, which, as you know, is important to me. It's a little rough around the edges. Like, it predates not just the phone notch, but like a lot of things about modern phones and devices. I never released an Android version. I did release there's an iPhone and iPad version. And it's a little annoying. And there's all these things that like, I don't even know. We'll have to look and see. There's stuff that probably just straight up doesn't work anymore. Like, there's some in-app purchase stuff. There's some, who knows? It's just, there's stuff that needs to go. So we need to get in here, strip stuff out. And my initial plan is to just get a new version released. No new features, no major rewrites, but like remove the stuff that's broken. Ideally fix some rendering things, which is going to be a little annoying with like the notch and whatnot. And get a version on every store on Earth. And then maybe we'll look at it and think like, okay, what do we really want from this thing in terms of features, like new cool features. So, oh, Terrier Darts. I mean, I do need to, at some point we will just hook it up to heat and I'll let people draw. But I do like the idea of like put a nickel in and draw something, right? That'd be kind of cool. Okay, Terrier Darts, think about it. Work on that. Give me a business plan. Ruin my desk by tomorrow. Okay, so probably the first thing we need to do we have some like forensic work to do, frankly, just because I don't know the last time I touched this. And I want to make sure like all current work is pushed somewhere reasonable. Like, I think 2018 interactive Volotic. The 2018, March of 2018 looks like the last time I really touched this. It's crazy. So almost 5 years ago. And I don't really know the state of it, you know? I just don't know the state of, like, did I actually push all my Git work? You'd hope so. So let's start with just looking at the repository. If I remember correctly, the thing I had started to do, which I will probably sort of abandon at this point, which kind of sucks, but I believe I'd like fully... God, what even is some of this stuff? That is a lot of unpushed changes to have not been touched in so long. Um, gosh, and there's these other branches. What a pain in the butt. I'm sorry, these other sub-repositories. But what I seem to remember, yeah. So I have a VR branch, and I think I just need to like push lingering changes. These I don't even know what's going on here. Like, is there actual work? How do I know which, I don't really know how to do this in VS Code. I mean, basically I want to know, like, hey, what's, check out branch for tag. Presumably if I had changes in these branches, I would know about it, right? Or sorry, these other repositories, these submodules. This is stored on Bitbucket. It's pretty weird. This is before Microsoft bought them. Before Microsoft bought GitHub, and GitHub was more annoying about private repositories, I think. Like, what is any of this? Oh, I'm ashamed of myself for not pushing. So yeah, something I tried to do at the time is like make a core, like a core library that could be used both between GitHub and, sorry, between the VR version and the non-VR version. It's been too long to, I don't know. Kind of just want to like, push it all. Uh-oh. No idea. I haven't really used Bitbucket in some time. Oh, it's annoying. I mean, I could also just like ditch that, you know, just say like push all this work to I think that's what we're gonna do. But this doesn't have get LFS enabled though, does it? Probably does. To avoid. What do we want to do about this? Like, okay. Well, I don't want to deal with this really, but let's just try to get all pushed back to get Bitbucket, and then we'll start again. So, and then migrate everything away from there anyway. Not anti-Bitbucket really, but I just would prefer to have things in one place. Oh boy. Okay, my repositories. So I think the annoying thing, how do I want to deal with this? Okay, sorry, just need a moment. I think what I need to do is, Scott made this at Bitbucket. I don't remember if I have any fancy aliases. Just make a new SSH key, I think. So we'll do a new SSH key, Bitbucket. This is all using the fancy that didn't work as expected. That's not what I want to do. How do you do the thing where you generate a new key? Generate a new key. And then add a public key over yonder. Somehow. Is that an Atlassian? Is that in Bitbucket? Who knows? SSH keys. Delete all these. Bitbucket SSH key. How's that gonna do? It'd be cool if it worked. Repositories. Gosh, there's actually a fair amount of stuff over there. Interesting. Now I'm on the wrong screen. Just trying to gotta figure out some weird count stuff that I don't really remember doing. Like, I don't know if am I in a Viewer branch, last commit. That seems about right. Submodule. It's unusual to me for me to have used HTTPS. Okay, let's just try this. Probably my era of eternal battle with Git credentials. If we can just push this, I will feel ready to move on with my life. I just want to be sure that stuff exists somewhere. And then we'll plan to move it. How do I know if LFS is enabled? I don't want it to be, even though there's like kind of nice, yeah, like Microsoft's done some reasonable things. with GitHub, with their pricing of GitLFS sucks, and I think it's like kind of mercenary. They'll trick you basically, unless they change it. There's like a cumulative amount of GitLFS storage that you have that you don't really know about until you pass it. How do I know? How do I know if GitLFS is enabled on this repository? I guess it's not, because it's not in the.
We brought levity to each other's lives, but there's a lot more to life than that, and I realized that in these last few years. And we just became very different people, and so we had nothing in common overnight. It's very strange, but that happens.
I don't know, man. I don't think it is. I'm gonna say it isn't. It's kind of annoying that there's not a. LFS status. I think it's not. Okay, so thanks for your patience. Let's switch back over here. So I think the thing I want to do now is I'm going to show an SSH key. Awesome. Cool. Which is the public key, so it doesn't really matter, but still. Careful. Be careful, fellow. So, okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to just move this stuff to a new place. So we want get projects 2018 interactive Volotic, and we want that to be in Git projects 2023. Move this here. Okay. Okay, here we go. It's been a long time we looked at this stuff. So let's open with code. Yes, I trust the authors. Let's see, authors are me. Should have no changes, and we want to switch to the main branch. Oh boy. I'm gonna ditch these submodules, but I don't know how yet. Okay, let's switch here. And then let's make a new branch called dev. What? Sorry? What did? That was weird. I'm on this branch, right? I'm gonna switch to master. Why would I have changes? What? What is .vs? Is that Visual Studio? How about go away, never come back? What's all this broken .NET? I probably broke stuff. I was like recklessly uninstalling things like I like to do. So, just trying to do some stuff. Create a branch. What? Okay, we're in dev. Did I just change my origin now? I don't know. Let's just start working and see what happens. So I installed a new version of Unity. So I haven't been doing much Unity work for months, honestly. It's been a minute. Kind of since the summertime, which is a little nuts. What have I been doing? I don't think I've really used Unity 2022 at all. I'm not ready for it to be 2023. Where did you go, bub? Come back. Yes. Yes. Okay. Take a break from the dark side. No thanks. Oh boy, there's too many projects. Is there something here that's a secret? Kind of. Well, oops. Oh well. It's not too revealing. I love how software loves to show every possible thing. It's my own fault, I know. There's some world where I should just have a totally separate streaming computer and work computer, but I don't. Fortunately, everything that's there is released and exists in the world, so it's nothing actually secret at this point. Okay, that is an ancient version of Unity. Like, impressively old. Let's just go ahead and try to open it in the new world for iOS and just see what nightmares we have to deal with. The biggest nightmare I'm concerned about is like what kind of programmer I was in C# in particular all these years ago. Honestly, not a tremendously complicated program, but I just know that I've pretty dramatically changed the way I approach a lot of things. Oh. Definitely gonna have to ditch a bunch of stuff, like, and that's okay. Let's ignore the compilation errors. I just have to, like, I don't know, the main purpose of this stream is just to, like, force me to open this and even look at it. I don't even know how long this stream will be. I just have to, like, get through the mental barrier of, like, just open this project and look at it. Okay. How are we doing? Good? Bad? Why would Volotic VR... Why would Volotic VR even exist in the main branch? Doesn't make any sense, right? A little fishy. It's troubling. All this stuff is so silly. Like this purchasing stuff, I just don't want any of this crap. Definitely want to get rid of that. Wow, Python. Must have been. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, all this stuff is like, it doesn't really need to be. Like, there's no real reason for those to be submodules. C# is all right. C#. I like C# pretty well. I don't have a lot of major complaints about it. And it's one of the reasons I think that I like TypeScript, because the designer of C# is also the designer of TypeScript, so they have very similar design principles. Sometimes I get a little annoyed with C# if I want to do something that's just like really C-y, like real C-ish, that it doesn't want me to do, but overall, it's pretty good. Okay, so Volotic, scenes, main. Does this program work is a question I have for you. The fact that the screen, okay, so the fact that the screen is black, not the best sign. I have like a mental block against revisiting this project just because I know it's, before we can even get to doing anything interesting, I just feel like there's going to be a lot of annoying nonsense. Shouldn't even be VR in this branch. Assets, plugins. So we don't. I do want to just straight up ditch. Like, we had this, like, every play doesn't exist anymore. Like this recording thing where you could record. Gosh, that stuff just doesn't even exist. Unity purchasing. I'm gonna get rid of it. We're not gonna do Next.js. I don't like Next only because I am anti-React. Nuxt exists. I mean, it really depends on your opinion of React, I guess. So if you really want Next, which I don't know. I don't know that I think anybody needs Next. There is Nuxt, which is the Vue equivalent. It's essentially Next.js, but it is Vue instead of React. I prefer Vue to React, again, just because I'm anti-Facebook, anti-Meta. But for like big goofball frameworks, I'm pretty into Astro. Oops. Life is Yours had a fever dream and suddenly Astro existed. And it's pretty good. It's pretty quick, it's snappy, it lets you do a lot of stuff. You can do whatever you want. You can use React or Vue or use Alpine and do everything in the front end. Like, I'm enjoying it. It's pretty new to the world, but I rebuilt my site in it without too much trouble. It got rid of some of the annoying friction with Nuxt. So I advocate for Astro, but only insofar as I would advocate anyone use the internet or like do anything on the web, because I don't think anybody really should. So I think we get rid of all this stuff. All these other dependencies. My plan is to not have in-app purchasing just because I think in-app purchasing is annoying. And that's probably a bad financial decision, but I'm not known for my good financial decisions. And I just want to make this free. Confused now though, because it was complaining about what? Really want to get rid of this also, frankly. All this purchasing stuff, just get it out of here. Problem is like, I don't quite know to go, how far to go before I should probably try to get things sort of running before I start with my excising things. I think this can go. I really think this can go. What is the proper way to just ditch a submodule? It actually, is it a submodule? Or is it something that is not a submodule? Is it like a delete the relevant section from the get modules file? I mean, my anti-Reactness is mainly anti-Facebookness. You can basically do the same things with, I feel like actually Vue gives you a little more flexibility. I don't know. Nux is just like, it's a whole thing. And you're guaranteed basically to get a bunch of stupid JavaScript just to do very simple things on the front end, just to like show some text. Whereas Astro lets you actually make HTML. It just wants some HTML I'm trying to make, and instead of some like weird application layer that's dynamically loading things, whatever. I just don't like it. It's like, maybe it makes sense if you're Facebook, but just so much extra garbage. Okay, what do? We need to delete the relevant change. So I think we ditch this fully first, right? Like this has just got to go. I think that's weird though, is like, how can I do this but keep the files? May not be possible. Okay, we're gonna try it with purchasing first. Wait, where's the other thing? So we have that submodule, we have this submodule. Let's let them go. Farewell to you. Get modules. But we just know we don't need that. We're going to ditch the purchasing module first. So why is it still here? Because it's not listed here. It's not listed here. Remove, so this is saying to like get rm cached. Okay, so we'd have to do get rem cached. Is that actually... Still doesn't seem right. Doesn't really seem right. Ugh. That didn't go well. What's the matter with you? I said, get out of here. You don't tell me what I can and can't delete. It's my computer. So, but have we not actually removed the submodule files? Because I didn't necessarily want to do that yet. We'd have to commit. Oh, there's a more modern version. Oops, should have done the more modern version. Okay. That's okay. We can try the more modern version for the other. We still want to keep that other Scott made this folder. We just don't want to. There's no reason for that to exist elsewhere. It's not that big a deal. Okay. So why is this still here? Oh, is that just the meta file, or what is that? That did seem to get rid of the references. Okay, let's try the more modern version. Get module, submodule dinit. Is now unregistered. See, that totally ditched that, though. It's not really what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to keep those files. I mean, whatever, we may do this in a silly way, but I think we can get them back somehow. What is that file? Oh, that just made those a million untracked things, which is actually what I wanted the other one to do. Okay. I don't think I did this very well. Why can't I, Great, we're doing great. Oops. Okay, I've done this all out of order. Now we're in a heap of trouble. Why did I break everything so badly? Who says you are? Okay, everything is very upset with me. I don't want any Git modules. It's not in here. I don't really understand. Okay, I've clearly broken everything. Is this really unrecoverable? Why would logs be here? It's probably a newer Unity Git ignore we should be using. Why? There should be nothing, should not be anything related to logs here. How about get out of here? Probably a bunch of stuff that's in the repository that shouldn't be. Wonder what else is in there that shouldn't be. Okay. And now, because I don't have a silly, you're all gonna laugh at me, but just because I don't want to deal with this. Okay. How are we doing? Still a billion errors? It's less than a trillion errors though, so we're improving. Okay, store handler. That's a whole thing. How does this work? Does anyone know how any of this works? Oh my gosh, everything looks broken. Ooh boy, that's not good news. This like is all Unity UI stuff broken or something? I'm gonna close this and reopen. That would be a tough pill to swallow. I didn't push like new. Uh-oh, well, that's not what I should have done. No, I accidentally pushed all the other stuff. Rats! Okay, let's reevaluate. Let's, this could be a problem. Bummer. It's kind of like Git surgery where you're drastically changing the structure of a Git repository is really always not good. Should probably be doing this in a real application, would probably make life a little easier. I don't want to do this. I'm just going to do this for now, because I don't need it locally. I I'd like abandon a branch fully. Just to be sure, my remote still does have. Okay. So don't do this. So just ignore all those things for a moment. So are we now at parity with master? Can I not just force this? Okay, they seem to be at the same commit, right? Okay, are we for real here? Is everybody happy? Okay, let's try this again. We're going to go through some steps again, but that's okay, I think. Maybe. I did the Ricky mistake. I don't know. I try to be really, really careful about that, especially if I'm working with multiple people, like to accidentally push things. So I've done it a couple times on stream recently, just trying to use the GetLens tools rather than using a proper Git client. It's just a little too easy to stage and commit. Okay. And do we need to do the... Okay. So I think we're going to have to go through some busing again. We got rid of those. The modules. Now do we try to open this? Let's see how broken it is. It's definitely going to be broken. And then we'll try to delete things again in a more careful way. See prefab, that must have been this store, or I don't know. Okay, but I actually don't even want to be in that scene right now. Just like go to some some loser scene. So we don't want plugins. We don't want this. We just don't want any of this stuff, right? That stuff can definitely go. Maybe. But let's be careful about these billions of other things. So packages. Just don't do that yet. So that editor folder, we deleted it. We did delete this. We did delete plugins. That was all intentional. This other stuff is just Unity being cool. Okay, editor, these things. Just get them out of my life. Okay. Purchasing really can just go away. And we seem to have this stuff now without having the submodule. Maybe. Okay, we still have 7 trillion errors. There's a lot of errors. Image, text, button. Why is that? Like, is Unity UI a package now? That would kind of make sense. I'm assuming that's what it is that it's now a package. That help with some of our errors. Okay, yeah. Some of this stuff is like, who cares? So confused about this. Like assets, plugins, etc., is we don't have it now. Whoops. Whoopsie. That was cool. I don't know if that's on purpose. If you re-import all of it, automatically self-destructs and comes back. Big one. How are we doing here? Fewer things are broken. It's good. Okay. Oh gosh, there's just all this stuff that I know is gonna like hurt my feelings with the way it's written and organized. So, but whatever. Let's just start looking at stuff, I guess. Generate sprite for the slice. Weird. Oh boy. Like some of this stuff, like the store window and all these things, it's just so deeply tied in. I don't exactly know what to do about that. I guess I'm gonna try to just like get it compiling, I guess. Say if you own it. I want all this store stuff gone. Like I'm not getting where I'm supposed to be in the, because it's not compiling. Maybe because I really did break OmniSharp. Possible. Not seeing any errors, you know? Could be that, whoa, what? Weird. Leave me alone. Do like external editor and stuff. That like preferences, external tools, image application, code.command. All these regions. Who wrote this stuff?
I know you understand me. I know you understand me.
Oof. I don't know, something like that. It's very heavy-handed. API that has changed. Huh. Okay, a whole new set of fun errors. It's great. Get better all the time. So every play manager probably just needs to go away forever. Right? Good boy. Getting closer. Can't even take me to the proper line. Sad. How we doing? Uh-oh. Namespace not. Okay, well, in theory, I can open a scene now. I'm afraid to. So the splash screen looks adorable. That's definitely the wrong image, but okay. Cute little particle rain still works. Great. That looks approximately right. Approximately. I don't remember what the more apps button does. What does that do? What do I have? What do I have, like Twitter up there? Who knows? What does that do? iTunes Music Store apps. Oh, does that like open the music store? I see. Okay. Let's click begin. Hey, look at that. It works. Kind of can't believe it. Okay, that's not good. Well, how about that? So here's the problem though. If we do like iPhone 11 landscape, looks great, right? Until this monster, this monstrosity. I wish there's maybe there is a way that just says like, on another project I've had to manually do that, like manually deal with the safe area, and it's pretty tedious. Because the safe area, I think, even avoids curves on a lens. Yeah, like safe area here is so little of the screen. I like Volotic. Cute. Aww. This is the Pro panel. Oh my gosh. Wallfront API through the roof. Great. I should put more money there. Oh, right. I don't have any more money. I need some money. Okay, so... Oh, Volotic, I love you. Missed you. Some audio issues, which is a worry. Like, is it doing that in the simulator? weird audio glitches. You have one job, which is to play audio. Okay, well, the menu screen has a bunch of crap in it. Splash screen has a bunch of crap in it, but ignoring those things for the moment. Okay, so what are we missing here? I think this is the store manager. I think we can safely delete that. I think we can delete the every play manager. And I think we can delete the plus manager because I think that's the thing that's like... Did I make it where you could only save if you... Did I make it where you could only save if you had plus? Who knows what I did? Not me. Plus mode enabled. So if plus mode's not enabled, save button is interactable. Save grid. I guess I only let you do it if you paid for it. I just don't want to deal with that anymore. I just want to charge money for it and then have no one ever download it. That reasonable? What's the way to do this? I don't want to deal with not purchases. I really don't. I really don't. It's annoying, especially across platforms. If I want to release this on a lot of platforms, then I have to deal with individual stores. F that. So I'm gonna say no. Well, I think probably Unity purchasing is a way to make it a little easier, but still, I think I don't want to deal with it. I just want to charge money. I think that's what I want to do. Okay, so we ditch the every play manager. It goes away forever because we don't care about it. Record and share. So that's going to be, these things are going to be broken. And watch videos, so on. Send message? Why would I do that? Okay, things are just broken. I think we need to just get rid of all the every play stuff. So I had the idea of panels, I guess, being like little slide-on things. So the idea of a panel exists. Oh, go to definition. Why can't I use IntelliSense? Why is OmniSharp not working? That's nonsense. I don't actually use this. Excuse me. use MDX either. I don't really use this either. Right? Get out of here. All these extensions out of my life. Do use Vue. I feel like I did this for like one very specific thing, but maybe I'll keep it. What do I have two of them? Do I? No. Astro, you're pretty cool. Astro, you're okay. Okay, let's see. At least right now I don't. Who needs update? Anybody that actually matters could update get lens, sure. You may be wondering why I don't have auto update turned on for a lot of these things, and it's because that's an easy way to ruin your life, is to be in the middle of a project and have some extension update and break, which I've had happen so many times with Unity projects. So many times. Where like in the middle of the project something will update and then debugging will be broken or whatever. It's a bummer. Not cool. I don't like Python. What's this new version? What's new? I like Platform.io. Is it better now? IntelliSense, auto-completion. That's handy. Mm-hmm. 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 Touch bar. That's handy. Perhaps handy. I don't like that Platform.io is like always looming, even if I'm in a non-Platform.io project. Okay, that sounds good to me. Dev containers, I'm so interested in. I feel like that's going to be a real... I'm not using it, so I think it's fun to update it. Definitely interested in it. Update you. That's all fine. Okay, this one's touchy though. But so well, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Trusting you. What are you recommending? Leave me alone. Okay, reload. We'll see how we're doing. Can I go to the definition of this? Get lenses here. What's new? Get lenses. Okay. Okay. What are we doing? That's a lot of stuff. What do you mean I haven't opened a folder? course I have. What? Is this just Unity being dumb? Wait, do I have changes? Oh no. I think all I really did was just do that, the missing prefab. For now, it's the only thing we'll do. I'm gonna close the project and reopen it again, just since I messed with Tellus stuff. Where is the VS Code folder? No one knows. Should I just do this? Is this a better way to do this? Is there even a Unity extension anymore? They got rid of the Unity debugger, but is that like the proper Unity? Hey, Unity debugger's gone. I don't think you. So there's like nothing from Unity Technologies anymore? Why would you search for Unity Technologies and show a bunch of places that aren't Unity Technologies? Interesting choices. Okay, what were we even doing? The whole point of all of that was we wanted to try to see what a panel was. Okay, what did I break this time? Shoot. As of May 2020, OmniSharp does not include MS Build. It needs help with build tools for Visual Studio. Build tools for Visual Studio. So annoying. I don't want you. Build tools for Visual Studio. I had that installed. Probably one of the things I uninstalled. Okay, and what do I need? .NET Desktop Build Tools. Use modern net to true. Weird. Okay. So what version? That's a good question. Doesn't matter, just 4.x, 4.8. So sure. 2 gig of garbage. 2 gig of garbage. Great. Well, let's just have fun and hang out while we wait for 2 gig of development garbage. 2 gig of development garbage to download. Okay, meanwhile, what are we doing? What are we doing here? I want every play to go away, I think. So I think a panel is just a thing that like slides up or slides down, right? Is that what? I had an animator on it instead of just tweening it. Not my style anymore. So why isn't this broken? Do I still have an every play manager? I just don't have the. No, obviously need to ditch that. Okay, I guess like the high level news is we have a somewhat functioning application. Looks like there's a lot of silliness here. Like, send a message cannot be called during a wake. Are these errors from Unity? Like, it's not my stuff, right? Or is it? Like, what are all of these? Are these all UI errors? I don't think these are me. Unless did I make some fancy? I don't think I did. How's it going over here? Doing great. Okay. Like I vaguely remember making some custom canvasy thing. That doesn't really. Like maybe it is me. Maybe it's me. I might be like messing with stuff based on screen size or something. Probably am, actually. So like who's the root culprit here? plus manager also just needs to go away, right? We're not doing that anymore. Can I do that? Let me just delete plus manager. It says I'm a bad person. Like really weird masking going on, right? Scroll rec nested. Console plus content. The menu content. Like, we don't want plus mode. We don't want any of this stuff. Save grid. We're going to say that button is interactable. And doesn't require plus. It feels like we're missing something critical here. I forgot to do the little Heidi thing. What am I doing? Sidebar mask. Like what I'm almost certainly doing is in some high level place presumably here. Doing something with like the size of the grid or something. Is that really the only place I call? Try it on start. I don't know. If that's an easy fix to ditch all the warnings. If start is good enough, then that's good enough for me. But I don't know if that's really the problem. Great. The answer would appear to be no. Probably because something is trying to. New tower. Why do I do that? Okay, it's on purpose. I mean, this is just gonna be for everything, basically, right? Why do you say this? Like, why? I thought normally opening a folder, or like opening a file in Unity, opened the folder. Do I need to put this back? Not have touched it. You know? Okay. Like, what is all this crap? Get out of here. What? That seems dumb. There used to be a thing that was like something to generate the like VS Code project files. Is that not a thing we do anymore? Is that not cool anymore? Because this is not good. Why? Oh, that's a package now, isn't it? Okay. Just because this is ancient, it doesn't have anything installed, is that? Any other packages I need while I'm here? Who knows? Okay, how about now? Somebody that would even show, oops, that. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Why? You're thinking about something. What is it you're thinking? Oh. Generating CS proj files for IntelliSense purposes. Great. Can I close it and reopen or something? This is why you don't update your development tools. It's fine right now because it's not a critical project, but what a pain. Come on, buddy. We do it? We did it. Terrific. I need a faster way to do this. I need to add namespaces to 1,000,000 files. Need to be sharper. Is that a... fake sharper? I want to do it in VS Code though. Not a good sign. Right answer here. I want to magically add a bunch of namespaces. What are you doing? What? They're really not just like, I am surprised there's not an easy way to do this. Like, I think it would be smart enough. There's other errors down here. Ah, no. Why would I update my development tools? What's wrong? Is everything broken forever? Doesn't. Of course not. Oh man, come on. I really don't want to deal with this. What a pain in the butt. Can I seriously not just add namespaces to a bunch of files? It seems like a thing that shouldn't be hard. It's just, am I crazy? It just seems like a thing that people would want to do. I do like sorting the namespace. It's a sad story. You'd think I would be able to just, it would be smart enough. Okay, well, everything's too stupid. So let's not namespace anything yet. And we'll just have a long talk with ourselves at some point about how I want to deal with that. Oh, you missed something now. Okay, anyhow. I just wanted to fix that one error about grid. Maybe grid is the one thing I put in the Volotic namespace. It's amazingly cool that just every single thing is breaking. It's awesome. I like how it's just as impressive to me how bad everything is. Like how bad all software is. It's just continually a shock. Maybe it shouldn't be. All right, I'm gonna just delete this. What is your problem? Failure? That's standard. Oh, Well, that I could believe, actually. Part of that. Because probably our ancient project is... How about that? Those are bad names. But sad story, really. Okay. .NET framework is what we want, right? That. Need to delete this again. Okay, let's just, while we're in here, is there anything else? Probably switch to IL2 CPP also, right? ASTC on iOS. Did I know that? I don't know that I knew that. Definitely don't want that stupid thing. Okay. There's probably a lot of project settings we have to deal with, but okay, well, we're required to do that. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's just see how we do. You're gonna be happier this time? But you still say couldn't load .NET Standard. Is the better solution to like try to rename grid? Because this is using a modules grid. I don't know what this is. Is that the Unity UI grid? I mean, I think the answer is right now I don't care. It's not actually breaking anything. I thought it would be an easier fix, but it seems annoying at the moment. Okay. What? I know it's a sad story. Okay, so newsfeed. I think we just ditched the newsfeed. Should only be used on the that menu screen. I mean, we could try to get that working again. Font level was loaded. Why did I do that? Destroy on load. Why? Why would I do that? What was I trying to accomplish, do you think? News, active item. What do you think I was trying to do? What was going through my head? Truly do not know. Definitely know this. None of this works. Like that's guaranteed. Is this used? Whose is this? What is the purpose of this? Okay, I don't want you. Get out of here. What is the purpose of this? Why would you do that? Let's just ditch this. Maybe someday we'll do it. Why is this button spaced so weirdly? It's like I lost a icon. Look at all the sprite layout. I think got broken. That's what it looks like to me. I don't think any of these sprites are really correct. I don't think that's where that subtitle goes either. So I feel like everything's a little weird. Oh, I see. That's why. So I could call open URL like from here. But I don't care. Well, what is this? Was this just like a timer? That's weird too. Okay, whatever. Seems like this is kind of broken. Doesn't it? I think you can go away. And I think you can go away. And I think you can go away. Axio, how's it going, buddy? Oh no, did I miss something you said? Sorry if I did. I'm in the zone. Just spring cleaning, early spring cleaning, going through a code base I haven't looked at in a very long time, destroying everything. Destroying all the hard work of myself of 7 years ago or whatever it was. Why is that so broken is my question to you. Why would that image be that broken? Hopefully that's not broken. But that's not what I'm looking for. Wait, did I already push? Dang it. Wasn't I trying to be careful to not push things? Why is that so wrong? That's actually concerning because it makes me worry that like everything is really wrong. Sprite editor package. Oh, well, is it just that I don't have the sprite editor? Could that explain something? Oh man, actually I feel like I missed you and then you left me. You left me all alone. 2D sprite. Axio. Okay. I made an application some years ago called Volotic. It's kind of sort of popular, but because I am who I am, I never figured out really how to make money from it. It was like the 2016 Apple App Store App of the Year in Japan. It was like really popular in Japan, I think. Anyway, I haven't touched it for a long time. And so I have two motivations here. One is like, I try to make like digital preservation of my work is a thing I try to do. Not always successfully, but I try. And then maybe it's 2015. I don't remember. And then also like, I just want to update it and start charging money for it, I think, is what we're going to do here. Oh, why is everything broken? Okay, so we deleted a bunch of stuff from here. What's going on the old splash screen? What is this? Ah, yes. Ah, yes. I see. Oh, that's a whole thing, right? These XML files. Okay. Yeah, why? What even is this? First of all, what do you think this prefab was? Who could say? And also, why would this image be the wrong image? Like, how could I end up with the wrong image? That's like, it's kind of concerning. I'm gonna just close this and see if it's doing the fun Unity thing where there's changes, but pretending there are no changes, It's like the fun hobby that Unity has. So the towers meta, that's definitely a worry. I'm gonna revert this for now. But weirdly, the Scott made this doodad is not there. I mean, the image that we know it messed with. Problem detecting. What do you think this was? I don't know. It was perhaps the thing that was job it was to like keep us on the splash screen or something. it really weirds me out that the image is wrong. That is of legitimate concern, because it makes me think like there's going to be, but all the background images are right. So I don't know. It just makes me worry that the towers are going to be wrong too. I haven't actually checked that. Okay, so if I play this, is this going to go through the menu? Axo, will you buy this app from me? I'll give you $1 million. I won't do that. If you buy this from me, how much should I charge? $4? 4 United States dollars? Look at these stupid lighting settings. What does it do here? It is a kind of experimental music app. Call it a nonlinear sequencer. I'm gonna ditch this apps button. I don't know why. Why are you like this? You know? Why? I kind of get it, but I also just don't get it. And it probably had some alignment thing going on that is no longer true. Just don't know the answer. Maybe this was not a square. That logo is a square. Oh, it's not. Look at that. Discard. Tracking. Okay. So we feel good about not having the apps button. At least for now. Forget it. Forget the apps button. The logo, however, that looks more correct. You definitely want some space there, but so that seems more like what my intention probably was. Buttons seems weirdly wide. I don't really know how I was determining the Y position of this, but okay. So that's fine. How are we doing in terms of errors? So we have some who's complaining here? I think we have a lot of work to do. Touch input module is no longer required as touch input is now handled in the standalone. Oh, okay, great. Okay, I'm gonna go scene by scene, at least of the two easy scenes, and just quickly make sure there's no obvious issues. Okay, seems fine. Fine, seems fine. Menu. What does menu know to not have lighting, but somehow the other scenes think they do? Like, should be no lighting. We also want to update the render pipeline here, but I'm a little worried about that, honestly. I think we want to do that. I'm not totally sure. Okay, so what are we complaining about now? Additional shader channels for what? I don't think we need any additional shader channels. all this scaling stuff is like a kick in the pants that I just don't really know what to do about yet. Why do I have a spinner? Like, why? It's because I'm loading the same async. I see. Didn't take that long. Oh, was this the rotation thing that I deleted? Uh-oh. What do you think that pointed to? It was, I'm a little confused here, honestly. Why isn't this showing up in there? Like, we got rid of all of the... Oh, I thought I did. Didn't we edit submodules to remove submodule stuff? Did I just straight up delete get submodules? Okay, so maybe we're not out of the woods when it comes to that would be really annoying though, because that would mean rats. I'll just quickly, silly, but something's fishy, you know? Like, it still seems like it thinks. Why, why are you like this? You know what I mean? Where, like, oh, that was a bad example. Where these things aren't showing up because somehow it still thinks we are submodule-y, even though we definitely should not be submodule-y. Right? That must have just been like a reference then. Okay. So that still doesn't really answer. Oh, really? Good grief. Is it the rotate? Is it? I feel like it must be. It's embarrassing if that's the only way I knew how to rotate something. Who knows? Who knows what foolishness. That it? Is that you? It was. Okay, well, whatever. Okay. Great. That little scale pop, like the. Oh, shoot. So those are all open URL things, huh? Okay, let's put that back as well. For now. Please use what? What did you say? Splash screen is finished. Where does that exist? I feel like you should be able to find that. Rendering.splash screen. Where are you? So if splash check is true, otherwise we do the thing. It's fine for now. Just happened to the scale of this. Why would that happen? Okay. Who knows? Okay, you're happy. We go here. No errors. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. I do want to just like kind of destroy all every play things. Kind of want to destroy the plus manager. So all it really did was just say that you could click the button. It appears to be the case. Okay, you just go away. So what is the issue though? Is there like a thing where I can't touch that yet? I don't remember how portals work. Oh yeah, that's how the portals work. Okay. I don't remember how chords work either. Oh, I see. Tunes them. Ooh. I think it's because our chord is very unhappy. Pretty good. I don't remember how to tune things. Okay, so that all works. They're good works. About works. These seem pretty broken, but whatever. Does this even work anymore? Nope. Cool. Which, who knows if that works. Who knows? Okay. Ignore all of that for the moment. So, like, kind of baseline. It's kind of sort of okay. The screen size thing is definitely a big issue. It's annoying. I had like special logic, if I remember, related to trying to figure things out with scaling. Like, in other words, it tries to do one thing if it's in if you're on the iPhone, and another thing if you're on an iPad, whatever. And that logic may just all need to go if the if the idea is all this replay stuff needs to get out of my face. It made me to go if we're trying to make this run on any screen. It's going to be a little tricky, truly. I mean, I could really try to just... I've never really done this. Maybe the easiest route is to try to have a pretty agnostic setup and just say, like... We could try to switch all the assets to vector, which would be a thing. Be a thing for sure. Try to switch all of the assets to vector and try to go based on like some consistent physical size based on the screen density. I don't really like that though, because my expectation is that it would be smaller on a smaller phone. So that's going to be a bit of a tricky one for sure. For sure. I'm not gonna just not have anything related to store. We've got all of our audio, and that's a whole other can of worms. Do we care about that actually? What are you? PowerShell only. That actually is a little bit important. Actually, this is a Mac only thing. But on Mac OS. Oh, okay. Well, that is actually slightly important. Level script editor. Scroll rect snap. Scroll rect snap inspector. Level script editor. Scroll rect snap. But I don't seem to actually be using it. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm just drawing the base inspector, so scroll rect snap. I think that's what I'm using for the sidebar to like make them snap into place. Yeah, but I don't have anything. I don't think there's a custom. I don't know. Volotic window. I think these were just some tools I was using to like apply a bunch of colors to something all at once and whatever, so that's fine. Um, hmm. Gotta be a better way to do that. Yeah, this stuff all sucks. All this. Who even knows what I'm trying to do here? Like, if I think I just tried to change it by changing the reference pixels per unit or something. Like, I don't even know, really. I truly don't know. I mean, I have grid scaler. The one I'm using? Am I not using these other ones? I just don't even know. Like, am I secretly using that somewhere? Maybe not. Okay, well, that's a big can of worms. I think plus manager goes away. The thing I'm not totally sure about is like the plus mask, because I think there was a mask over the plus mask. I think that can go away. Yeah, this is me trying to figure out the scaling stuff. That's going to be the most annoying part. I mean, at least for like an initial pass. So I'm a little bit worried about the I guess it just wasn't enabled by default. So if I enable this, I see. Unlock in plus mode. That all just needs to go away. Store window. The store window needs to go away. So mask goes away. Plus is a silly name for that. Like store window goes away. I don't know, I like, how was I finding those? Maybe I wasn't. The about window seems dumb. I don't really want to send people to a lot of these places. How do you just end up with the wrong image? I'm going to deal without these other things at the moment. Okay. So anything related to store or every play or anything like that just needs to be unsure problem. Uh, nobody likes you, store. Get out of here. Okie dokie. Okay, well, might be done for the day. Make good progress. I mean, we could try to run it on a device or whatever. Do we dare? Sorry, I got a text from my brother about a ladder, a deal on a ladder. Just excuse me. It's critical that I pay attention to this. It's an 18-foot ladder. It's an unbelievable bargain. You need to go buy a ladder. Actually, let's go to the ladder store. Let's buy some ladders. Okay, so I don't know. We made some progress, I guess. I'm resisting the temptation to like really dive in and start tearing things to pieces, but just ignore that for the moment. Some of these things, like, who knows what I'm doing? Find root game object with same parent prefab. I think this is me like I think there's some way that I could apply to like a big hierarchy of things, or I don't even know. You know what I was doing. But that's just a utility thing, so I'm going to ignore that for the moment. In fact, I'm going to ignore all of these for the moment. The awake thing, I think, is due to scaling, which we know we just need to rewrite. Like that whole thing is just that's a rewrite. So what do we want to do then? I think the thing to do is let's leave the bit bucket land all alone. And let's go to GitHub and we'll just make a new private repository there. Right? It already exists on this account. Wait, what? What? Did I already... Hold on. Oh, it's a support repository for Volotic. Like a GitHub Pages. Oh, that's kind of a weird one. It does have a wiki. Ah, that's pretty annoying. Could rename that to Volotic Web, I guess, and then that could be in the future. Let's just do that. Volotic Web. Deal with this step at a time. So I'll make a new Volotic private, etc., etc. Okay, so this is kind of a tricky one because I think we want to push all the branches. So I think we have to do a mirror. I guess I'm trying to decide if I should even bother pushing this stuff to Bitbucket. And I think the answer is no. Like, that on Bitbucket, we just leave it alone. Does that work? Okay. And then I think there's like a mirror. Let's see. Like, I think I want to do something like this. But I don't actually know. Let's see what happens. What's for lunch, everybody? My normal Wednesday lunch plans got canceled. So life is my life is collapsing, basically. Beans. I think that's all I have to. I need to like eat out less. Oh, it's February. Wait, the go to restaurants budget has reset. All bets are off. I should go to the gym and then eat what? Something delicious. Normally a Laughing Planet day. It's normally Laughing Planet Wednesdays, but that got postponed until tomorrow. Axo, you missed the drawing machine demo. Maybe we'll end the stream with another drawing machine test. Webmage gave me an idea. Webmage inspired me. This is taking suspiciously long. It's got audio files in it, but it's not like they're huge or anything. That's probably the main problem with this audio app. Problem number one is like sometimes it doesn't sound good, which generally speaking, you want your audio app to sound good. And number two, it doesn't like easily connect to anything. I looked at that years ago with like an audio bus thing. I don't know. Maybe that'll happen one day. But now now I just decided I wasn't going to do premium features, so. Why is this so slow? And why am I so itchy? And why am I wearing this shirt? I don't know the answer to any of those things. Excuse me. I have a complex compound path in Illustrator. Can I just crop it? Let's see. While we wait for this to do its thing. Like, inexplicably slow. I really don't understand why it would be that slow. I don't know. Okay. Once again, okay, fortunately there's no work on the screen, but once again, software just deciding to show a bunch of stuff. And then some big stupid ad over here? What is this? Adobe are they the worst? They might be the worst. Okay, I have this idea. And the idea looks like, kind of looks like, did I do this wrong? Why would that be true? Oh. What is this strange? Okay. Sometimes it's hard to tell if something's a rendering error in Illustrator because it's such bad software. I want to do this, but I want like an inset. Well, let's just start here, I guess, because it'll be easier. Maybe 20 millimeters. Maybe we want these to be 25. Doesn't seem quite right. How's it? Did we finish? Okay. Does this mean... who even knows what I'm doing here? Okay, we mirrored so that push tags and everything. So I believe... that we just... and we're still in dev. So we need to... we do want to change... oh no, you know my middle name. No, we want to change our remote. Why is everything so bad? No. That worked. really seem that way. Also, why? Wait, hold on. First of all, let's just do this. Are you happy? Okay. Do I want to? I don't think I want to push this. There's a reason to do that. Is there? That's not what I meant. Okay. Uh, okay. I think we've done it. Have we? Why does it think that my dev branch is the main branch? The default branch. Okay, I think we're pushed. I think we're good. I think we can pause for the day on Volotic. And now we can just look at these boxes for a minute and just think about them. Think about why the spacing is like it is. Nope. It doesn't look right. So I was thinking of just like a cute little thing. I don't know. Like this thing like this, but with cute little tableaus in here. But the thing I don't know, which I'm interested to know, is can I just like oops. If I do that, for example, and then I make a compound path of this, and then I do something like take this fellow and just put it on top. Do these count as two objects in terms of pathfinding? Answer no. Isn't that weird that I still see all the... I guess that technically worked. Kind of weird. exactly what I was going for, but I think I'll take it for now. I just don't know that I want that outside box, really. You know? But I want to get rid of it without, like, I want to only delete the paths. What's the best way to do that? This? I don't know. Let's not think about it too hard. But, yeah. Why, when I'm in drawing mode, would you do that? Don't like Illustrator. I don't think it's very good. What is deselect all? I'll make like some stuff. Make lots of little, let's do some little mini paintings. Now, the cool person way to do this would be like this. If you like cool people. Just eyeball it. Fills. We should have fills. Let me do this the way I want to. Probably not, because nothing works the way I want it to in Illustrator. Shoot. Why is that box selected? Okay, I just wanted a cool building, that's all. Pretty cool building. Stop it. That's a little more complex than the rest of our drawings. It'll take a long time. I kind of want to just overlap a set of these. What do you think of that? I don't know. I don't know about it. Also, a lot. It's too much. What's your problem? The center of this box. Okay. Is that not the center? Okay. Okay. I feel like this one's weird because it touches the edges and the rest don't. Snapping in Illustrator is so bad. How bad is it? Okay, here's our paintings. Why are you so stupid? Really centered? You really centered? Find it hard to believe. Anything you say, Illustrator, find it. You're a liar. You're a dog. Why is one of these here? I should have made a little tree. I blew it. I have no more paintings. I didn't make a cute little tree. Well, guess we'll just live with it. Or lack of tree. Okay, I don't like these, but they exist. So how about thanks, Axiom? Appreciate it. Okay, so here's an annoying thing: is Illustrator's too stupid to know how to like maintain units when you export an SVG. It's just a dumb piece of trash. So we have to open it in Inkscape, which is another stupid piece of trash. But the thing about Inkscape is it's a dumb piece of trash that doesn't cost very much money, and because it's free. Whereas Illustrator costs billions of dollars. So we now have to go here and we have to just open this file, whatever I called it. And the units will probably be something that makes no sense. I do not like Inkscape, mainly because I just don't know how to use it really, but okay. I'll take it. How wide is this? How do you scale anything? How do you do anything? How do you do anything? Oh, it's up here. Okay. I'll just make these. Why are you 90.12? Where did the align and distribute go? Okay. So now we save that, and now we go to this cool website called SVG to G code. We should be able to, oopsie, we want the website, please. Hopefully it kept all my settings. Yeah. And let's choose our G code. Cool. So this is now G code. We can download the G code. We'll go to CNCJS. I should have left more room on that paper. I blew it. We'll just do the back of this. I just suddenly got so hungry. Oh my gosh. Eat any food today. I have to drop dead. Well, there's ink showing through on the back of this paper. We'll use a different piece of paper. I do kind of like that little stereoscopic logo. Not really stereo, but vaguely. What is it? Anaglyph? Anaglyphic? It would sound like it means letters. Anagram? I don't remember the name for the red blue stereo. Okay, that's fine. Fine. Switch back to this camera. Oh no, my cute paintings. Oh no, my cute paintings. How do we make a compound path? It didn't work. How do we make a compound path in did that work? Cute. Okay. Here's our little paintings. Looks to be about the right size, so Cute. Adorable. I know. This is... We get it? Okay. So... What are we doing? Do that. Do that. I think we're ready. Are you ready? Actually, are you ready? Actually, I was ready. Actually, I was always ready. That's how you got to be the CEO of CVS. Always being ready. Oh, look at the machine go. Definitely a rattle to it. I'm not crazy about. Adorable. I like that little flower. Certain lines that get a little crunchy sounding. Not crazy about that. Games for Change student challenge. Is that your impression of my drawing machine? It's out of the corner of my eye. I thought you just typed POV, but now I understand you were typing. Sometimes it sounds nice and soothing. Video's glitching insane ways again. Got a worse view? There you go. Have a worse view. It's doing a pretty good job. It's a rattle. Well, I think those are pretty cute. Oh, thanks, actually. I should cut these out and frame them and send them to you. Maybe I'll do it on nicer paper. Oh, they're cute. Look at the cuteness. Pretty precise. Those rectangles do not look fully rectilinear. And it still looks like there's some slight pen pressure issues. But, you know, there is a reality to this whole pen flutter thing. Hey Terrier, welcome back. You know, part of the point is the imperfection of it, you know? Like, if it looked 100% perfect, I might as well just print it at Kinko's. So, what if I made, so, you know, you saw how much time I spent on those paintings. Not long. What if I made like 100? And I made a grid that was 10 by 10, but it was just 10 by 10 of all of these like weird little dude. Maybe I'll do that on stream. We'll try to do, I mean, 100 would be a lot to fit on a thing. Maybe we'll come up with a number that makes sense. If they were like 20 millimeter by 20 millimeter squares, 10 and 200, we could do 100. Probably actually could do 100. There have to be somewhat smaller paintings, but okay. Well, I feel like that was a fairly productive day. Terrier, thanks for stopping by. Axio, thanks for stopping by. There's some more heat work soon. I think heat is working. Terrier, somehow I read your message twice with different words. At first I thought you said that is better, and then I read that is baller, and I thought you said both of those things. You only said one of them. You only said it was baller. Appreciate that. We did fix this thing, right? I mean, presumably. It has numbers, and that seems good. Somebody visited me from South Africa. Cool. Northern Africa, someone from Egypt. Nice. Axio Terrier, where are you on Earth? Are you on my map? Here's something in my hallway that might be a murderer. Big bad America. There's a funny thing about America is there's a big unknown. Like if I do North America, United States, there'll be a big unknown. And I think it's just if it can only like resolve it to the level of oh, that was weird. United States of America. Unknown. Oh yeah. Just like puts it in the middle of Kansas, which I guess is like just the geographic center of the country, but pretty weird. All right, what's going on in northern England? Stoke-on-Trent. There you are, Terrier. Is that you? You don't have to say where you live. I should revamp this someday. Other than touching the back end, I don't really touch the front end in a real long time. Okay, but that seems to work. We've got so many projects underway. We gotta finish the freaking the MIDI control thing and the industrial taxidermy thing and the scoreboard. It's just I like starting projects more than finishing them, which is a difficult truth about myself. Okay, I have an idea. Hold on. Are you ready for this? Last time I bumped it over by 5 millimeters. What if we just bumped it over by like 2 millimeters? Oh, but I already lifted it up. Did I? Or did I not? I'm gonna try this with may not be a good idea. Might ruin the art. I think I didn't. But maybe I could just eyeball it and make it really close. Is that the origin? Did I actually move the 2 millimeters or not? Now I don't even know what I'm doing. Now let's just try it. Go. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I ruined it! I ruined everything. Oh no! The pen just like fell right out of the holder. Okay, I'm gonna try that one more time. And yeah, I was gonna ruin it. I just didn't tighten it enough, apparently. What is... I don't know how that's possible. Now go. Go! I think it's gonna look cool. Is what I think. I was gonna end the stream, but then I don't want to. It's gonna look like it's casting a pink shadow. I don't know if it's gonna look good or not. Might look bad. Okay, I'm really leaving. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.